Okay. Well, it appears that here we are. Let's see if I can stream this. If I can make sure I've got it streamed. Yeah, I guess I don't actually need the headphones in. Oh, hey, look, I can actually hear myself, so that's a good note. What am I going to talk about today? There we go. There we go. Okay. Skill of the headphones. Apparently I've got the sound coming back in this way. I think I remember to mute the headphones. Apparently I've got the sound coming back in this way. I think I remember to mute the headphones. Apparently I've got to put this up. Okay. Had a problem with that hanging out there because I realized that was had me going live. So you can ask questions on Facebook or on Twitter if you want. Mostly I'm here just to check this out. So if you want to comment on the video to tell me, hey, it's working or not working, that's totally okay. If you don't want to comment, that's also okay. This is mostly going to be where my son's bar mitzvah is. You know, it's kind of interesting because with this whole COVID distancing thing, I think a lot of people are asking themselves, how do I do less? Right? Because we've taken away the ability to get close and personal with people. And I like to think instead, how do I do more? How do I do something I would never have thought of doing before? So, services in my very own basement. This is, in fact, the basement of our house. Ellery, who you might have seen walk through a little bit earlier and try to figure out what was going on, that's her office, designed to be a guest bedroom, but it's not like we're having guests anytime soon. You can't quite see over here, that's the big screen TV. That's where, when we do the bar mitzvah, that's where we'll actually be viewing it from, or having people in attendance that will show up there. They will also show up on that monitor back there next to where the camera is. We'll have 2 computers set up. We'll have 13 people total are going to be here in the basement. That's it. Just 13 people. And I wanted to test the audio. So one question I have for the 0 people who appear to be watching right now is, should we decorate this arm? Like sort of, not make it disappear, but make it at least a little, not a giant black thing. Don't know. That's just a question that I've currently got. So let's talk a little bit for a moment about the future of work. So I think one of the things that we need to come to terms with is the modern office, this trend towards maximizing the efficiency of that space. And that's not just about how many people per square foot can you get in and how do you maximize the utilization. It's also about the energy efficiency. We don't swap air in as much from the outside anymore. We have air movement to try to eliminate thermal hot spots and cold spots. And that's going to have to go away. That doesn't meet the needs right now, and it's going to be a while until it's safe to really be in an office. So we've got to start thinking about what does the future of the office look like. And I'll admit, I have a dog in this fight. It's actually a really bad phrase when I think about it. So let's go with a different one. I've got skin in the game. And that skin is just simply like, I don't like wide open spaces with a whole lot of people in them. I like having doors like this one between people where you can focus and really get into what you're doing rather than just hanging out with a lot of people around you and trying to eliminate distractions. I think I did see some studies right before, in the before times, that said the less visual isolation you had, the less collaborative you would be. because you were so hard trying to avoid people and so hard trying to avoid disturbing people that you really didn't want to get in the way. So we got to rethink what the future of the office looks like as we go forward. And we got to rethink, what do any of our activities look like? My wife just came down. She's checking this out. This is just me streaming to whoever happened to be listening. You're welcome to join in or watch whatever you'd like. I got nobody watching on Facebook right now, or maybe that was you that was watching and disconnected. But I have no idea who's going to be watching on YouTube. So that's what we've got to do, is we've got to figure out not how do we do less, but how do we do more, but do it differently. This idea that we have to be face-to-face with humans to get anything done. There are times that's appropriate. If I want to get my nails done, kind of have to be face-to-face with another human. Although maybe we can combine an oxygen bar and a nail salon so I can sit there and get a refresh and not exchange air with the person in the nail salon. Think about that. Think about other things we might do. Maybe we need to move to more outdoor activities, which sounds great here in New England in the spring, summer, and fall. Maybe the summer and fall, the spring's got too much pollen. But winter is a whole different ball of wax. So we got to maybe start thinking about, do we have semi-conditioned outdoor spaces that we can move ourselves into for the winter, so we can have people who come visit us, but the air is safe for everybody. So that's what we're going to have to do. And I challenge everybody to really start thinking about that. Because here's the real rub. I can work from home for the rest of my life. Right? I'm at the capstone of my career. Most of what I do is stuff like this. I talk to human beings. In a sense, at home, I'm not limited by where I can be. It used to be that to go to a conference, I had to spend sometimes a week in transit to each location, adjusting time zone. Whereas now I'm doing a conference at the beginning of August, and I'm going to be doing it from right over there. I've got a green screen set up. I'll do the conference. It's a 2-hour time commitment. Maybe I'll spend 4 hours, including the socialization. I'll just do some setup time and tear down, but it's way less than what travel used to cost. And every time I do setup and tear down, I get a little bit faster. Bringing this whole setup down to the basement, this is what was in my office upstairs. This took me a day, and I'm completely down here now. Part of the reason I did that is this is my actual desk. It's a sit-stand desk. We brought it up to the right height. It's not probably going back into my office because I have another one that's bigger that I'm going to keep in there. This one will either end up in the gym or might end up just staying down here. I haven't yet decided on that one. It might replace the table that I've got over there so that we'll have a real desk down here. But I'm okay. And in fact, most people in my shoes are also okay. Because for us, we have enough capital that we can afford to spend some money buying the right things. We already have the connections, and it's easier for us to make new connections. But the people for whom this is a problem, all right, the other thing I have teenage kids. They mostly want nothing to do with me. But if you're a parent of small children, in fact, if you're a mother of small children, let's just be very honest. Most of the people I talk to who are dads, their kids often respect it when they say, hey, I got to go to work and I'm going to be in the house, but I'm over here. They understand that. For moms, that doesn't seem to be as much the case. So when they're home, their kids are all over them. They need to get away from their children. It's not that their husband or their partner is a problem. They try. But sometimes the kids just really don't understand that you work from the house, and that means you're not there as a caregiver. If a 2-year-old, they're not going to really wrap their head around that really well. I think it affects both, but it's going to more affect women than it is likely to affect men. If people who are just starting out in their career, they don't have the connections, maybe they don't even have the work discipline yet. They don't understand necessarily what it's going to take to get stuff done. They don't have the job skills that you might be looking for. These are problems for them. And we got to make sure that we understand how to help them and how do we get them into the workforce. But maybe they're also, they have a bedroom in a shared apartment and that's it. They don't have a desk at home. They're sitting at a cardboard box from their last move, which might have been their first move, or maybe their first one out of college. and trying to get stuff done while sitting on a futon. I know that's what I lived on when I first got out of college and I was in the Air Force. I was sleeping on a futon on the floor. I did have a desk. I did actually upscale to that a little bit. But I didn't have a setup at home that I would really consider a robust work environment. But we also have to think about people who don't come from economic advantage. Somebody who's coming out of disadvantaged program, maybe you're doing a great job at engaging in retraining programs to help upskill folks. And instead, what's happening is they don't have the ability to set themselves up at home. And our IT departments say, well, here's your laptop, get going. And they don't have a nice microphone, a nice camera, 48-inch monitor, this whole setup that they can operate from. And so we're going to need to solve for those people. And maybe we take our real estate that doesn't work for mass collaboration anymore, and maybe we can repurpose it for those staff, our junior staff, our less privileged, our disadvantaged staff, rather than for the executives like me. In fact, I would actually argue I'm more effective working from home. The people around me might not get as much benefit from me, and I recognize that's a challenge, but a meeting where everybody is looking into a camera is sometimes more effective than a meeting where people are hiding in corners. People turn their backs to each other because they want to circle in on somebody. They don't notice that they're boxing somebody out of the environment. So those are challenges. Hey, I want to say thanks to the people who are watching. I see a couple of you here on Facebook. So I really appreciate you, listening to my words. I hope they're interesting and entertaining. So we're going to have to address that challenge. And I think the companies that move fastest to address that challenge will be able to solve for labor shortages in the future. Because people do recognize it. People do talk. If you're a company and you have a hostile work environment to some demographic, they talk to each other. They're going to share. There's a number of sites to do information sharing, and the word's going to get around. But if you're the place that people say, hey, if you're just coming out of college, this is the place to go because they've solved for it. They know how to give you a home office or how to get you into an office that is safe for you. Maybe you're immune compromised or you have family, elderly relatives that you don't want to expose to COVID-19. Those are all things that can be solved for. But anyway, I just wanted to have a few minutes to do a sound check. Now I'm going to go back and check the sound. If anybody had a question before I turn off, this is your opportunity, either Twitter or Facebook. I can't actually see my YouTube comments because they're way over there. It looks like there might be one, or that might just be sort of the status update from the beginning. But I don't see anything on Twitter right now. And Facebook just seems to be some awesome human beings who are spending a few minutes of their time to listen to me, which I do really appreciate. Hey, if you're home right now and you're craving human contact, I want you to do something. Reach out your arms and give yourself a hug. Right now, these 4 or 5 of us hugging each other, hugging ourselves, just letting you know that you are loved. There are lots of people out there who love you. They can't get to where you are. But just recognize that and know that we are going to get through this, but we're going to get through it together. It might take us a little while, but stay positive. Think about the future. Just remember that someday we'll get to come together and give ourselves and each other those hugs in person, whoever it is you're looking for. Anyway, have a great time. You're going to see me walk sort of off stage, so I got to go turn this off over there. So you see me sort of walk through it shorts because I'm working from home. See you later.